Hey guys, we have the preview, the Ruined Future, coming soon. So in here, we should have information on what color Rose is going to be, as well as what color Trunks and Mai are going to be, as well as whatever extreme units they're going to be, if there are any new extreme units coming out on this banner. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what we have. Remember, I did call that Rose would be purple and that Trunks and Mai would be red. So let's see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Rose was red. People are memeing he might be blue. It'd be funny if he was blue, but I don't think so. Maybe yellow. I think I said purple was my #1 choice, and then red and yellow were sort of like tied for #2. I don't think he'll be green. I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be blue. So let's go. Purple. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And yeah. Okay. So I got it. Trunks and Mai are red, and then Rose is purple. That's good to know. Again, I think purple is a pretty good color for future. Keep in mind, if he was red, he would be competing with like one of the most broken units in the game in Red Cell. So I'm actually kind of happy he's not red. But on the other hand, red would have really helped out this team, this God Key team. God Key really needs help in the department of being red units, because the best red unit they have is this the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku. I mean, yeah, Red Rose is okay. He's not great. And then obviously God Goku and Whis. Well, God Goku is not usable really. Whis is usable, but he's much more of a gimmick unit these days with his green cards and healing and whatnot. But yeah, him being red would have been a nice addition to the God Key team. But I think for purple for this team, like this purple Vegeta, he's still good. Obviously, as a support unit and for some, the sub count reduction and things like that, things of that nature. But in terms of like an actual mainstay purple unit on this team, Jujin Zamasu doesn't cut it anymore. This purple Vegeta is good in one aspect, but we need a strong, powerful purple unit on this team, and I feel like this Rose is a good addition here. So that's good. And then the Trunks and Mai, we could talk about them as well. They are actually red, which means they're going to have a very, very, very tough time competing with this guy. This is insane to me looking back at this cell. Like how much this guy impacted the game, because more so than him just being good, it's the fact that he's on androids, future, regen, all three of those teams, and then now he's on powerful opponent too, which is another team that people are starting to run more and more as we get more support for it. Like, you see this guy in almost every fight, and I think that when you're talking about a unit like this and you bring out a new unit, that's red, and their main team is going to be future. I mean, yeah, they're going to be on hybrids and they're going to be on females because they have the tags for all their respective teams as well. But their main team, I imagine, is going to be future. When you're looking at this guy and you're like, okay, like what does this unit have to do to replace this cell? The answer is everything. This cell is so hard to replace. He's literally a Rising Rush sponge. He does a ton of damage when he's transformed. He gets key on switch in. He has a reliable way to draw blue cards. There's so much that he can do, and it's just absurd to think about a unit actually replacing Cell on this team. I mean, you could do like a red-red-green setup, I guess, if you wanted to run Trunks and Mai this Cell and like green Rose, but we'll see if that actually becomes a possibility here. But there we go. Rose is purple, Trunks and Mai are red. We do have some previews over on the Twitter. We saw some of this stuff back in Battle Hour. When they first announced the Rose and the Trunks and Mai units, but I think there's a little bit more footage here that they provided us with. So let's go ahead and take a look. Trunks Mai assist is coming after 50 counts. 50. He gets a boost, and his allies will get plus 20% damage inflicted. His ultimate restores vanishing gauge on hits, and allies with certain tags get their substitution count shortened. Bring hope to a ruined future. So, two interesting things about this. Number one, his ultimate seems really powerful because not only does it give him vanish back on hit, keep in mind it's on hit, so it's not like Zenkai Bardock, where you can just throw out his ultimate, it restores his vanish without hitting the enemy, and he can vanish right away. You have to actually hit them to restore vanish. It reduces sub count, so it's restoring your vanish and reducing sub count of certain tags. I assume it's going to be future, and maybe hybrids as well. But I mean, it's a pretty powerful effect on just one ultimate. The only thing I really don't like about this is the fact that he has to last for 50 counts to get one of these boosts. That is a long time. I remember, actually, let me pull up the character. I remember specifically talking about this guy when we were looking at his kit. pre-Zenkai, so this is before he gets his Zenkai. I was looking at this and I'm like, man, 40 counts is a long time to get these buffs. 40 counts is forever. And I'm like, I really hope that's the first thing they change in the Zenkai. When they did, they made it 30 counts. So this guy needing 50 count, I mean, this has to be like a 150% boost to his damage or something like that for this guy to be like a contender against Cell. I mean, clearly we don't know everything about what he's going to be doing yet, or what they are going to be doing yet. Just the Twitter stuff for now. But let's go ahead and take a look at what the animations look like, and we'll go from there. I like that strike animation.
Leave it to me.
That's cool. I like how they both say it at the same time. There's the pistols. Yep. That's cool. I like their animations a lot. This, I'm telling you right now, this gives me PTSD. These pistols. Back when Mai first came out with Yellow Future Gohan, and who else? It was my Yellow Future Gohan and that blue Super Saiyan 2 Trunks who just got a Zenkai. When they first came out, Mai was like, I believe the first. No, was she the first female? No, she might have been the first, one of the first females to use like guns as her blast arts, yellow cards, blast cards. And you could never tell if it was a tap attack or an actual blast card. So this is like so frightening to see. But yeah, that's trying. Definitely animations look really cool. Let's go take a look at what Rose is doing. So a few interesting things about this. So LL Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black is coming. His strike arts inflict extreme bleed. Extreme bleed. Before we even go any further, let's just talk about what that means. I'm pretty sure this is a modifier on the bleed that we've never seen before. I'm trying to remember who has like a very strong. I remember Rildo was like a really strong bleed character, probably one of the strongest ones. And then I think the green baby Vegeta was also another bleed character. I know Zenkai Demon King Piccolo also was, but yeah, heavy bleed. I think until now, heavy bleed has been like the main version of like the strongest bleed in the game. I think this guy also does this. With bleed. This is just normal bleed. So we have bleed, we have heavy bleed, and now I believe this is the first time we're ever seeing extreme bleed, unless this is like a mistranslation, and this should also be heavy bleed. Like this extreme bleed is something we've never seen before. So it'll be interesting to see how well that actually plays out and how much damage that does. It's impossible to tell, right, just from reading this how much it does, but we shall see. And his special move cancels unfavorable element factors. Okay. He also has a unique that reduces the enemy's ki when he switches in and raises their arts cost after they attack. Okay, so there's a few things here. The special move canceling unfavorable element factor. This is going to be important because there's either one of two scenarios that this is talking about. Number one, only the blue card ignores element factor. It could also be, and then that's scenario number one. Scenario number two is it provides an attribute upgrade to Rose when he uses this to give him nullifying unfavorable element factor for a certain amount of timer counts. So, for instance, if he uses this with the blue card and he gets unfavorable element factor for like 10 counts, that's really useful because then the remaining counts of that buff he can use to damage the enemy even further. And then again, keep in mind that they did talk about in Battle Hour that this is going to be something that you can teach to Shallot. So obviously in most cases the nullify unfavorable element factor is not going to matter for Shallot. But keep in mind that if they ever do release a dark character, which I know they said they wouldn't do as a playable character, but in the story mode, if they happen to do like some super difficult dark type boss and Shallot is meant to like fight again, maybe you can only bring Shallot for that fight. Maybe that's like the last boss of the story mode or something like that. One of the ways that you could actually get around that element disadvantage is through this. Like this special move is going to nullify that fact that the enemy is dark type. So that's a very niche scenario, but that's just one example that I can think of where Shallot can actually benefit a lot from this. Uniquely that reduces the enemy's ki when he switches in, which is very annoying. And he raises their arts cost after they attack. Now this is something that's interesting too, because after they attack is a phrase that we've seen for a lot of units in this game with their kits, and I'm actually going to pull up Purple Rose, because he's one of the units that does this. So The following effects occur after enemy attack is over. This says after they attack, so it doesn't sound like it's the exact same wording there, but they probably just put this in because it's not an official, part of his kit. It's just part of the tweet. But if it works like like Purple Goku Blacks does, where Purple Cooler also has this in there. I think Blue Topo also has this. A lot of units have this nowadays, but this does include like tap attacks, tap blasts, all those tackles. Maybe if you get tackled and then the enemy doesn't follow up, that still counts as an enemy attack being over. So the interesting thing to see about this is if you get tap blasted, does that increase their arts cost? If you get tackled, does that increase their arts cost? If you get tap attacked from a melee attack, does that increase their art? Like, that could get really, really out of hand really fast. So we're gonna have to see how this plays out when we get his kit information tomorrow night and when he releases tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's take a look at his animations because they do show some new things in here as well. So let's go ahead and play this. That's the cover change. And it can obviously chain into that, which is nice. Something that Yellow Broly doesn't do. That's his green card. I like that he actually uses the sword in his animation, the strike animation. There's his ultimate, we saw this before. And then here's the LF. It looks so good.
Such magnificent power.
Alright, so let's break down what we saw here. So, in the beginning, he does a cover change. It's not clear. I mean, I assume it's a strike cover change because Goku's coming in with a kick. So this is probably going to be a strike cover change. Similar to how the red... We just talked about this guy. Similar to how this red Goku's cover change works, right? Where you against strike cards, he just like teleports behind you with instant transmission and kicks you away. And then you can chain that into his blue card. This Rosé looks to be exactly the same because we see him do this, and then he immediately goes into a blue card, which hits him. Next, we do see... People were confused about this attack right here. This is like... I think this is his green card. I don't know what else it would be. So it looks like it's sort of like a long-range projectile type green card. We'll have to see what kind of effects that has, but those are typically pretty difficult to land most of the time. It's... You talk about what the strong suit of what a green card is. A lot of times green cards are powerful because of the fact that they stop time. And this is one of the green cards that does not do that because it actually initiates an attack. So we'll see if that's going to be strong enough to warrant him replacing somebody like Green Rosé, whose green card does stop time, which is very, very important. But that's what he does with his green card. And then the strike animation looks really nice. I love it. I love how he uses the actual energy saber in his attack. And then we get the LF. So there we go with Rosé. That's pretty much all the information we have on Trunks and Mai as well as Rosé here. Pretty much 24 hours from now, I'm recording this video at 2:15 a.m. Banner should go live tomorrow at 2 a.m. Eastern time. So I will be doing a live stream. I haven't done one in a while in Legends. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. And with that said, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one.